Hey guys, Julie here. So I wanted to update you on some of the proceedings of the last month. If you watched my last video, you saw that I took off for a road trip, but a lot has changed in the last 30 days. You guys know me as a blogger and vlogger. I offer up travel tips. I talk about my observations with dating and being a single woman. But you may not know that I also have a real job, and in my real job, the healthcare system and social media intersect. So you can imagine that the past month has been kind of crazy for me. I am very blessed that I can work remotely. I can work from anywhere with a solid internet connection and American time zone. The last 30 days have been pretty crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in. If you saw my last video, you saw that I rented out my house for a month. I took off on a road trip to Las Cruces, New Mexico, San Antonio, and Austin, Texas. The purpose of this trip was really just for a change of scenery, a change of pace, potentially tap into a new dating pool. Well, my plans, as I'm sure a lot of your plans too, they kind of fell apart. Right around the middle of March was when I made it to Austin, and I think right around the middle of March was when things really came to a head. Professionally, all my work focused on COVID-19. Personally, I felt very alone. It really wasn't the solo trip that I was expecting. Yeah, you guys know I travel solo, but I do not end up alone. I start conversations, I interact with a lot of people. I love to get to know people and share stories. And so I felt really lonely my last 2 weeks in Austin. So I ended up leaving a week early. I'm now back in my house. It's been 30 days since I left my house, and I am back. Luckily, my house is in good shape. There's toilet paper left, cleaning supplies left. I just need to stock up on some groceries. But it feels really good to be home, to be on my comfy couch, to be in my nice, ergonomic office chair, and to just be in my neighborhood. In a time of such craziness, the normalcy is really appreciated. Okay, so what does the situation mean for my two topics that I blog about? Travel, there's not much we can do here. I think it's going to be a while before we're back to traveling the world. It's unfortunate, but it's what we got to do to flatten the curve. So I'm very supportive. I actually have a trip at the end of May. I was going to go to Argentina for 2 weeks, and I anticipate that we're not going to be in a place where that trip is going to be okay. We need to do what we can to slow down this virus and stop it from spreading. My second topic that I tend to discuss and theorize a lot about is dating, love, relationships, and I think that's going to change too. I'm single. There's a lot of other singles. There's a lot of us right now that, as we are feeling very isolated, we are going to be reaching out to make connections, especially the people like me, the people who are living alone, now working from home, now barely going out into society because there's really not much to do besides, pick up your groceries on a rare occasion. People say they don't want a pen pal, but they're going to have a pen pal for a while, because we can't meet in person. All the apps are encouraging video chats and things like that. And I think that's great. I think it's going to give singles a chance to ask the deep questions, talk about the forbidden subjects, really get to know each other before jumping to that, let's grab a drink. It's going to remove kind of those false positives that attraction will give you. So I think that will really allow us to see potential in others, getting to that point, establishing those connections with meaningful conversations and so on. But that will only get us so far. We're going to need the in-person element. I can speak from experience. I have emailed, phone called, video chatted with guys before, thought that everything went just fine, and then I met them in person and it was a huge letdown. I felt nothing. So really, this new society of virtual relationships, it's great to start out with, to keep relationships alive, but it cannot be sustained. It will not sustain a relationship or validate a relationship. So I hope for all of us that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm excited to actually have some meaningful conversations for once. Well, that's all. I'm grateful to those of you who reached out to ask how I was doing when I was on my trip. Crazy how things change in 30 days. Just want to check in and close the loop on this story. I know things have changed for a lot of us, and I'm not the only one. But I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear your advice. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Ciao.